From the brains behind Brains On, it's Smash, Boom, Best.
The show for people with big opinions.
I'm Molly Bloom, and this is Smash, Boom, Best, the show where we take two things, smash them together, and ask you to decide which is best. We're taking history for a spin today in a time-traveling twister of a debate. For our first contestant, we've got the 2.5 million year period known for woolly mammoths and saber-toothed cats, known as the Ice Age. And for our second contestant, we've got the 54 million year period known for dinosaurs like the Stegosaurus and the Brachiosaurus. That's right, it's the Jurassic. Who will win this bruiser of a battle?
Jurassic, because dinosaurs are sick.
I would say the Ice Age. The humans were around in that period.
Jurassic, it's a lot more sort of alien to like what we see in day-to-day life.
The Ice Age was a time when there wasn't like a whole bunch of life that could survive the climate of the Earth, and I find that very interesting.
Jurassic, because I like the movie better than Ice Age.
Will it be our freezing epic or our age of dinos? Hard to say, but luckily we have Layla to help us out. Hey, Layla.
Hi.
So, Layla, what do you know about the Ice Age?
I know that there's a lot of movies about it. The animated feature, Ice Age.
And what about the Jurassic?
Land Before Time. A great movie. I love it.
So we got some movies in the background there. Do you have an opinion about which is cooler?
Not really. I think they're both really cool. I do really like dinosaurs, but also like saber-toothed tigers, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
Well, you sound like a great judge for this debate, and I want to know, do you debate yourself?
I do. I've been doing debate for 1 year, and I'll be going to a 3-week debate camp this summer.
Oh my gosh, so you really like debating.
I do.
So what strategies do you use when you debate?
It's really good to like take notes, and you can also spread, which is just speaking really quickly to get your point across.
So do you participate in this fast talking?
I do my best. Yeah.
Do you want to try?
So this is me talking really quickly. I can talk about the Jurassic Park, I can talk about Ice Age, but I can talk about especially about dinosaurs and stuff like that. But I don't have anything in front of me to talk about really, like, so I'm just going to keep on repeating myself because I don't have anything words in front of me on a sheet of paper. Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's not very fast,
goodness.
But
that sounded fast to me. I'm impressed. You must have really good lung capacity too.
Oh my gosh, we have a joke in our debate team about getting lung extensions. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Very, very impressive. Well, I'm very glad that you're here to debate with us today. You ready to meet our debaters?
I'm so excited.
First up, we've got our daring defender of the Ice Age, co-host of the Story Pirates podcast, Lee Overtree.
What's up, Smash Boom Best? Hi, Molly. Hi, Layla.
Hi, Lee. So, Lee, in one sentence, why is the Ice Age cooler than an ice cube?
Well, Molly, I point you no further than the word that you just used yourself to describe which was better. And that word is cool. And what's cooler than cool? Well, as two great men once said, ice cold.
Excellent. And now, arguing for the Jurassic, it's co-host of the Story Pirates podcast, Peter McNerney.
Oh, hi! What's up? It's me, Peter McNerney, ready to defend the Jurassic.
Hi, Peter. So, Peter,
Yeah.
Why is the Jurassic a stone-cold classic in one sentence?
Wow, there you go again. Stone cold classic.
Oh, okay, I guess this is your time? No, it's my time. And I got one word, dinosaurs, baby. Has there ever been a creature more amazing, more captivating than the dinosaur? Scarier, cooler. Name one. I dare you. See, nothing. No one's naming one. I win. Let's go home.
Oh, man, this is going to be a good one.
That was a really great argument.
All right, well, before this battle really begins, let's do a run-through of our rounds. We'll start with the Declaration of Greatness. In this round, each debater will present all the history, facts, and lore you need to know about their side. Then we'll have the micro round. Each debater will deliver a response to a creative challenge and try to win you over with their imagination and delivery. The third round is the sneak attack. We'll ambush our debaters with a prompt they have to respond to on the spot. And to finish it off, we've got the final 6. Each debater has just 6 words left to persuade our judge their side is the Smash Boom Best. Layla will award a point after each round, but she's going to keep her decisions to herself until the very end of the show. We want you to play along, so listen closely and make sure to keep track of each point you award throughout the show. Okay, Layla, are you ready to get this showdown started?
So ready.
How about you debaters? Are you ready?
Feeling
Born
cool,
ready.
feeling ready.
Great, because it's time for our first round.
Declaration of Greatness.
We've flipped a coin, and Lee, you're up first. Listeners, grab your ice pick and your crampons, because this is going to be one cold trip.
Ahem. Well, before we start, can I offer anyone an iced tea? Perhaps an iced coffee? Or how about some delicious iced water? Seems like all the most refreshing beverages have one thing in common. They are all served in a glass. I mean, they all have ice. Well, if you're a fan of the frozen luxury we call ice, wait till you hear about a time known as the Age of Ice. The Ice Age. Now, like Spider-Man movies, there have been many different ice ages throughout history. These are periods where giant sheets of ice covered large parts of the planet. And I'm here to talk up the most recent one, which started roughly 2.5 million years ago. It's sometimes called the Pleistocene Glaciation. But you can just call it the Ice Age for short. Now, I want you to picture the North Pole, where all of those handsome polar bears live.
Thank you for the compliment, Lee.
You are welcome, handsome polar bear. Nice suit. Now, you're probably imagining a frozen, sparse landscape with no trees and no 7-Elevens. That's an ice sheet. Now, imagine that same landscape, not just way up north, but covering all of Canada and even parts of the northern US, from New York to Washington state, with ice sheets almost 2 miles thick. That's what it was like during parts of the most recent ice age. Can you believe it?
But Lee, why is it so icy and cold?
That's a great question, Bear. Scientists don't know for sure, but they think that our planet naturally goes through cycles of warming and cooling. Lots of things might play a role in this, like volcanoes, which are pretty cool, tectonic plates, which are also pretty cool, and gases in the atmosphere, like carbon dioxide. Not as cool, but it's a thing. Even the wibbly-wobbly way the planet orbits the sun seems to change average temperatures over millennia. The result is that sometimes we go through long periods where summers never get hot enough to melt all the ice from winter, and it builds up year after year.
If there's one thing I know about ice, it's that I love it.
Now, let's get to the real stars of the Ice Age. I'm talking about megafauna, which is a super cool word that means big animal. And the Ice Age was full of awesome megafauna. First of all, there was the Glyptodon, which is like a giant armadillo. Armadillos already look really cool with their bony armor, but now imagine an armadillo that's up to 5 feet tall, 10 feet long, weighs as much as a car, and has a pretty cool, funny-looking beard. It mostly roamed the swamps of North and South America. Go ahead and Google what a Glyptodon skull looks like, and you'll have a pretty good idea of what to put on your band's next t-shirt. Next, we have giant furry elephants. That's right, I'm talking about mastodons and mammoths. Mastodons roamed North and Central America with tusks up to 16 feet long. That's more than 2 LeBron Jameses and like 40 Peters. Mammoths were also in North America and Europe and Africa and Asia. Man, they really got around. And they had these fatty humps on their backs that provided them warmth and nutrients in cold times.
It's not a hump. It's a built-in heater and a snack pack.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Mammoth. He's really big.
I heard that.
Also, we got the dire wolf in North America, which is basically like really cool big wolves. Or, as Layla mentioned, the saber-toothed tigers like the Smilodon, which is also a pretty cool and like cheerful name. Like, thanks for keeping it positive, Smilodon. A Smilodon's fangs are 11 inches of watch out, don't touch that thing.
Meow. You should see how much these babies fetch me from the tooth fairy.
Good joke, tooth fairy. There's also giant sloths, giant cheetahs, giant apes. Basically, when it comes to animals, the Ice Age was like, go big or go home. But there's another important player that showed up as well during the Ice Age. That's right, I'm talking about top of the food chain, baby. humans. Modern Homo sapiens appeared in Africa somewhere around 200,000 years ago. Over time, Homo sapiens spread to what's now the Middle East, Europe, and Asia, but the Americas, you're probably thinking they're like way over the water, right? Well, not during an ice age. You see, much of the planet's H2O was frozen as ice, which made the sea levels dramatically lower. So low, in fact, that a land bridge emerged between Siberia and Alaska. Like, if you've ever been in a pool that doesn't have water in it, it's really cool to walk around and skateboard in that thing. That's what we're talking about. Scientists think that early humans crossed this land bridge, or as I call it, empty swimming pool, around 20,000 years ago, probably to get away from some boring cousins. These brave explorers spread all the way down to South America, so the Ice Age helped humans move to new places. That's what we call teamwork!
Roar! Wow, Lee, this is all so cool!
Polar Bear, I don't want to freak you out or anything, but we are currently in the middle of an ice age right now.
What?
That's right. I just blew your mind. That last age I told you about, it never really ended. We just entered a warmer period of that ice age. And that started, 10,000 or so years ago. It's called an interglacial period. See, an ice age is any period in which there is at least one big ice sheet present, and the Earth currently has two. One in Antarctica and one in Greenland.
You are blowing my mind with facts! Roar!
You know what else probably blew your mind? That I pronounced the sea in Antarctica, which most people don't do. But here's the thing. Humans are putting a lot more greenhouse gas into the atmosphere right now, which scientists say is heating up the planet and melting those ice sheets we talked about. If we don't do something soon, it's gonna cause more intense, even dangerous weather. It's gonna raise sea levels and could force us to lose our super cool Ice Age status. So, if you're a fan of things the way they are, thank the Ice Age. It's all any of us have ever known, and honestly, this Ice Age has treated all of us pretty well. Especially, come to think of it, Peter. You could say he's coddled by the current Ice Age. The end.
Wow, that was a rousing argument for the Ice Age. Layla, what stuck out to you about Lee's argument?
It's still relevant. It's still happening. Also, megafauna is such a cool word.
Megafauna is a very cool word. And those megafauna themselves sound super cool too. And now we're going to hear from Team Jurassic. Peter, you have 30 seconds to respond to Lee's declaration of greatness. And your time starts now.
Oh, I'm sorry, what? I fell asleep like 5 minutes ago. Lee started talking about ice like it was a cool thing. And I said, oh, okay, what? The Ice Age? You've got bigger animals than we have now? Megafauna? More like, boo, lamefauna. I'm embarrassed for you. And I'm embarrassed for the listener that they had to listen to all of that. Polar bears. I can find you a polar bear tomorrow. I just got to buy a plane ticket and find a polar bear. But yeah.
Lee, is there anything you want to say to Peter before we move on?
I just want to say that, Peter, I respect you, and I'm a little sad for you.
Not about any of this, just about me in general. That's fair.
I guess he thought it was a dinosaur.
All right, we're going to hear more from Peter now. It's time for your declaration of greatness. Listeners, ditch the ice pick for some binoculars and safari gear because we're headed to the Jurassic.
Have you ever heard of a little movie called Jurassic Park? You know, that real old movie about dinosaurs that was so realistic and scary that I may or may not have had to spend the entire third act hiding in the lobby by myself? Yeah, that one. Well, that movie and its roughly 900 sequels gave us an awesome, if not totally accurate, glimpse into the most incredible era in our planet's history. An era of change. An era of monsters. An era of dinosaurs! Sorry, I knew that was going to happen, and it still scared me. That's right. I'm talking about a time 200 to 145 million years ago called the Jurassic Era. It all started at the end of the Triassic, which was like the Jurassic, but with fewer and less cool dinosaurs. So who cares, right? The land on Earth was clumped together into one gigantic island called Pangaea. So picture one big, boring land lump.
Hey, I wasn't that boring.
Oh, hey, Pangaea. I did not expect to see you here. Or anywhere, frankly.
No one ever does.
Anyway, since the bulk of the land was in Pangaea's center, most of it was far from the water. This made hot summers hotter and cold winters colder. It was really intense. But then things started to change. Over millions of years, Pangaea split across the middle and oceans filled the gaps. Eventually, there was a lot more land closer to water, which meant less dry air and less intense weather. Perfect conditions for some major changes to life itself. And you know who really benefited? That's right, plants!
Yeah, we did! Woo! It's a plant party! Hey, other plants, look at all this fertile soil. Let's spread and grow like crazy!
Yeah! Woo! Woohoo! That's right. And while there weren't yet any flowers on the land, ferns and ginkgos and forests full of pine tree-like plants exploded across the globe. And with all that growth, you're bound to attract the ultimate plant party pooper. Herbivores!
Wait, sorry. What's an herbivore again?
Great question, Plant. Herbivores are animals that only eat plants.
Oh, right. Wait a second. We're plants! Everybody run! We're not moving! Darn these roots!
With so much fresh vegetation to eat, herbivores grew and grew and grew into some of the largest land animals that ever lived. Sauropods were a type of giant plant-eating dinosaur that spent all their days eating literally tons of leaves. They were so big, it's hard to even imagine. But let us try. Imagine, if you will, you go to a park, and out from the trees walks a full-grown elephant. Wow, you think, that is a really big animal. Then, out of nowhere, another elephant comes running out into the clearing, jumps onto a huge springboard, flies into the air, and lands gracefully onto the first elephant's back. Before you have time to think, well, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen, from the woods, a full-grown giraffe is shot out of a cannon. And that giraffe lands perfectly on top of the upper elephant's back. Then, from the sky, another giraffe skydives out of an airplane. And right at the last second, her parachute opens, and she lands light as a feather on the first giraffe's head, extending the hybrid elephant-giraffe monster's neck to double giraffe length. At this point, you're probably thinking, because you're pretty sure you've lost your mind. But then 3 adult dolphins come riding in on motorcycles. They do a dramatic slide stop and fly off their bikes to land in a perfect chain, with the first dolphin grabbing hold of the top elephant's tail, creating a 30-foot-long tail of dolphins. You stand back to take in the full shape and size of this dolphin-elephant-giraffe monster, and you think, I should probably run for my life. But what you really should be thinking is, wow, that's about how big a Bronchiosaurus was back in the Jurassic era. Because it was. And that's just one of the cool creatures around back then. There was also the Allosaurus, a fearsome meat eater that walked on 2 legs.
My arms might be tiny, but I've got a huge head equipped with dozens of sharp, serrated teeth.
And the Stegosaurus.
I've got a tiny head, but my back is covered in these giant plates. And check out my tail. It's got spikes. Look out.
Whoa.
Oops, sorry.
In the ocean, there were equally intense creatures, like the Liopleurodon, a giant swimming reptile with jaws the size of a grown person.
Hey, you all could take a dip?
Oh, no, I'm good.
Ah, man, no one ever wants to...
Not to mention the flying pterosaurs, or some of the first tiny mammals, or the first ever birds. While the Jurassic period was 200 to 150 million years ago, we still can't stop thinking about it, learning about it, making movies about it, and doing podcasts about it. I mean, can you blame us? I mean, honestly, was there ever an era that has captured our imaginations like the Jurassic? No. The answer is no.
Wow. My imagination is captured. Layla, how about yours? What caught your attention in Peter's declaration?
Well, I really appreciated that example of how large the dinosaurs were with the elephants and giraffes and dolphins. That was appreciated.
Lee, it's your turn to tell us why Team Jurassic got it all wrong. You've got 30 seconds for your rebuttal, and your time starts now.
Here we go. What's cooler than cold? It's ice, ice, baby. Are dinosaurs lame? The answer is maybe. Their heads are too big for a brain, like a walnut covered in feathers. Can't even get a haircut. Dinosaurs are boring, just like we discussed. Anything born from an egg, I don't trust. What's better than a lizard? I'll tell you 'cause I wanna. Some animals I know who are called the megafauna. This age is so cold. Good luck trying to melt it. Dinosaurs fart. I know, 'cause I smelt it.
I think that's time.
Oh my gosh.
We have never had a wrapped rebuttal before.
I'm impressed, genuinely. That was genuinely impressive.
Well, that is it for our first round of debate. Layla, it is time to award a point. Remember, don't tell us who you're giving it to, but chew over all you just heard. Listeners, we want you to decide, too, which debater made the coolest case. And remember, you get to define what coolest means, which declaration was funnier, more fact-filled, most moving. It is up to you, completely subjective. All right, Layla, have you decided?
I have.
And you've marked it down?
Yep, it's right there.
Excellent. Well, everyone, take a breather. This debate will be right back.
Stay tuned.
Lincoln here with 14-time debate champ Todd Douglas. And today we've got the latest on the debate everyone is talking about.
Yes, indeedy we do. And let me tell you, it's a heart-wrenching scene in Fort Worth, Texas, where it's sister against sister on the debate battlefield.
Okay, it's not that dramatic.
I find sibling feuds very stressful, Taylor, and my therapist says I should vocalize those feelings.
Oh, well, sounds like you've got yourself a great therapist there. But let's get back to the matter at hand. Cynthia and Karina's parents told them they can decide how the family spends the last 2 weeks of their summer vacation. But the sisters can't reach an agreement. Let's listen in.
There's no point trying to cram in another vacation, Karina. I just want to sleep in, enjoy the AC, and work on my Captain Marvel fanfic. Not get stuck in an airplane for like 14 hours. I won't be able to focus.
Okay, but hear me out. International vacations aren't just exciting and fun, they're good for you. Studies have shown that traveling lowers your risk of heart disease and decreases stress. And it can even boost your creativity to help you with your fanfic.
Now, those are some compelling arguments from Karina, but are her facts airtight enough to win this debate?
Let's see how this plays out for staycation-loving Cynthia.
Where do you find all these studies about vacations? That stuff sounds made up.
No way! I did my research, and those facts come from studies conducted by researchers at the Global Coalition on Aging, the University for Health Sciences, Medical Informatics and Technology in Austria, and Columbia University, among others. Want me to send you some links?
No, that's fine. I guess getting out of town could be kind of inspiring.
Wow, heckin' zowie. She backed up those facts like nobody's business.
Yeah, Cynthia fact-checked her sister, which is always a smart move. But Karina did her research, and she came out on top.
My sister never cared enough to fact-check me.
Aw, Todd. I'll always fact-check you.
Thank you, Taylor. That means a lot.
No problemo. Now make sure your facts are confirmed by trustworthy sources, debate heads, and we'll catch you next time on State of Debate.
Best.
Boom. Smash. Smash. Boom.
Best.
I'm Molly Bloom, and this is Smash Boom Best, the show about showdowns. Sailor from San Carlos, California, sent us this fantastic debate idea.
My debate idea is glass versus metal.
We'll hear Sailor's pick at the end of the show. Now, where did we leave off with this freezing fracas? Or is it a balmy battle? Either way, it's time for...
Ice Age versus Jurassic, round 2.
Lee and Peter, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Never been more ready.
Molly?
Great. It's time for...
Micro round.
We sent our debaters this challenge in advance. It's called Top of the Hour. Lee and Peter will play local news anchors, and they'll deliver all the breaking news, politics, arts, and culture about their sides. They might even throw in a tear-jerking human interest story or dinosaur interest story. We'll see. All right, Lee went first last time, so Peter, you're up. Give us the scoop on the Jurassic.
Hello, I'm Peter McNerney, reporting live from the belly of a beast. Literally. That's right, I've been eaten by a dinosaur. But not just any dinosaur. I've been eaten by one of the Jurassic era's greatest carnivorous hunters, the Allosaurus. A terrifying creature standing 16 feet tall and 43 feet long. While being devoured by a dinosaur was not what I had planned for today, I'm a professional journalist who would never pass up the opportunity for an inside scoop. And yes, that pun was intentional. I'm standing here with a very old Stegosaurus who was also bested by the beast. Tell us, Stegosaurus, how did you end up eaten?
Well, I am a very old Stegosaurus, and not lively as I once was. Old Allosaurus and I have a long history of friendly fighting, and by friendly I mean terrifying and ferocious. This time he finally got me.
And may I ask, how did those epic battles go? I couldn't help but notice that, unlike the Allosaurus, you don't have dozens of sharp teeth that are serrated at the front and rear edges.
Boy, yes, that was definitely an advantage for old Al. And you know what's crazy about those teeth? Sometimes they fall out during feeding, but then they get replaced by new teeth. That guy's a regular prehistoric tooth factory. Not fair, right?
So how did you last so long against such a mighty foe? Not to be rude, but even though you're the size of a bus, I hear your brain is no bigger than a walnut?
That's a common misconception. It's actually more the size and shape of a bent hot dog.
Fun!
But I had my tricks. Have you seen this spiky tail of mine? This thing is no joke.
Wow, looks like one of them is broken.
Yeah, in my prime, I could swing that thing so hard that it could send an Allosaurus to an early extinction, if you know what I mean.
I sure do. Well, congratulations on an impressive career, and good luck with your, retirement here inside the Allosaurus.
Thanks. I've already started a book club with these smaller sauropods that were also eaten.
Hi, we're reading Lost World. Well, don't spoil the ending. Reporting live from the proverbial end of the road, I'm Peter McNerney. Please send help.
I would tune in to that newscast. Layla, what did you think?
I would definitely tune into that. Do you have any video?
We're trying to stream from in here, but reception is a little shoddy.
I have no Wi-Fi whatsoever.
It must be pretty dark.
We'll find a signal. Yeah.
All right, it's Lee's turn to take the mic. Lee, what's been going down in the Ice Age?
Welcome back to WICE, the Ice Age News Network, where if it isn't cold, it's not cool. I'm Pat Penguin at the airport tarmac, where a large crowd of teens have gathered. They're holding up signs and waiting for someone or something to step out of a very large plane. Excuse me, miss. Excuse me. Who are you waiting to see? Is it a famous musical group or perhaps a young and dreamy political figure?
No. We're waiting for... Hey, they're here! Ah! I love you!
Oh, the door of the very large plane is opening and it's the coolest thing in the entire Ice Age! A glacier!
We love your ice! It's so cold!
Excuse me, Miss Glacier!
Yeah?
Miss Glacier, is it true you're an absolutely gigantic piece of ice that is always moving, albeit very slowly?
Slowly? Glaciers like me can move 50 feet a day.
Fascinating.
And personally, I think of myself as petite.
I would never say you're wrong about that.
I'm less than 100 miles long, I'll have you know.
Wow.
Some of my cousins are over 200 miles in length.
Wow, I wonder what the teens think about your size and shape and the way you move.
We love how slow you are! At one point, glaciers covered 1/3 of the planet!
Wow, great fact, teen! Now quiet! Miss Glacier, is it true you're many centuries old?
A lady never tells. But let me say, it takes lots of snow falling many decades to build up and make a beauty like me.
Yes, but what about glacial landforms? I understand that you have created many of our favorite lakes.
It's true. As I glide over the land, I carve out huge holes in the earth. The holes fill up with water once I pass them by. Those lakes are my little gift to you.
Well, as someone who enjoys swimming in the ocean and not lakes, I thank you. Thank you, Glacier.
Thank you for Great Lakes. You're the best.
Wow, the teens also like you. Teens like to hang out on lakes, so I hear, and perhaps they can go skiing on a lake.
You're welcome, my darlings. Enjoy skiing.
Well, Miss Glacier, thank you for your time. This has been Pat Penguin reporting. I'm going to go do penguin stuff now. Don't ask. Bye!
An informative and thrilling broadcast. Layla, what did you think?
I have swam in the lakes that Miss Glacier made. I feel so honored.
All right. Well, Layla, you heard the broadcast from the Jurassic and the Ice Age, and now it's time to award a point. Listeners, you too. Have you awarded your point?
I have.
Excellent. Then it's time for our next round, the
Sneak attack.
Like a stealthy saber-toothed cat pouncing on its prey or an Allosaurus lurching out of the forest, this round is a total surprise. Lee and Peter have no idea what's coming. Are you ready, guys?
We're ready.
Yes.
Excellent. Your challenge is secret handshake. Lee and Peter, we need you to describe what's involved in your side's secret handshake. Narrate each action as you do it and get someone in the studio to do it with you. Listeners, see if you can figure it out at home too. We're going to give Lee and Peter a few minutes to figure out their handshakes, and listeners, while we wait, we want you to invent your own. Maybe it's a smash boom best handshake, or maybe it's a secret handshake you do with your mom. Let's hear some hold music while Lee and Peter puzzle over their handshakes.
Megafauna stomp frozen ground. Dire wolves, cave bears abound. Ice Age, baby, we're living in one now. Jurassic, think dinosaurs, Liopleurodons and stegosaurs. Stomp, stomp, roar! Hide behind that tree.
All right, Lee, Peter went first last time, so you are up first. Tell us about this ice-cold handshake.
All right, so my handshake has 4 major parts to it, and because I heard that Layla loves puns, each section of my handshake involves a pun. And the first section is stand next to your handshake partner and give them the cold shoulder. What you do with that is you take a piece of ice, and just like I'm doing right now, pin that piece of ice between your shoulder and your partner's shoulder. Go ahead, do it right now. Now, take another piece of ice and pin your other shoulder to your partner's shoulder. So now both of your shoulders should be touching with a piece of ice in between each one. That's called the cold shoulder. Second part of the handshake is keep a cool head, everybody, and put another piece of ice between the back of your head and the back of your partner's head. So now you're standing back to back. Both of your shoulders have a piece of ice pinned between them, and your head also has a piece of ice pinned between your head and their head. It's easy to do. Everyone should do it. Next part of the handshake is called the freeze, which of course means just pushing up against each other until the ice melts. And finally, we have the culmination of the secret handshake called break the ice, in which everybody screams to break the ice. You also bring out a giant piece of ice, grab an axe, and both hit the ice at the same time. both hands on the same axe. Just like this. 1, 2, 3. Ah! That's it.
Can I just say?
Yes.
That was a nightmare.
It was a somewhat messy and dangerous handshake.
Also cold.
And very cold.
Ice.
All ways that we roll in the Ice Age.
Excellent. Well, Peter.
I'm ready. Are you ready for this?
Oh, we're ready.
Because I created a handshake that's possible to do. That's right. That's my twist on this game. It's fun and possible. All right, so here's it. It's got 4 parts. The 4 parts are called this. It's stomp, stomp, double jaw snap, tail swipe, reach for the sky. All right, and what does that mean? Here's how it works. First, stomp, stomp. You're going to want to face your partner, and you're going to do 2 giant stomps in which you walk towards each other and then turn so that you're both facing the same direction. So like a giant sauropod, you go stomp and then twist, stomp. Now you're standing next to each other. So now we're going to do double jaw snap. Okay, so person on the right, you're going to put your hands out with your fingers up. And these are the bottom jaw of an Allosaurus. And you got a whole bunch of teeth are your fingers. And the person to the left, you've got your hands up in the air. And you've got your teeth pointed down. And then you bring this jaw down together so it snaps. Double jaw snap. And then you close your mouth together. And then this is the hard part, okay? This is the tail swipe, where you then extend your hands straight out to the air and make a paddle with your hands. And then you both swing in opposite directions to the left and right and come around to the back with your paddle hands and you smack your tails together in the back. And you go, ow, that was the back of my knuckles hitting your knuckles. And you say, it's okay, pain is gain in this friendship handshake. And you go, boom, and that bounces you right back and you swivel all the way back till you're facing each other. And then you reach up like a bronchiosaurus and your hands go all the way up and you reach for the sky and you're very close face to face. You make intense eye contact as your hands go up and you go, reach for the sky! And you slap hands up above your head like 2 bronchiosauruses kissing each other goodnight.
So, Layla, it's time for you to award a point for this sneak attack round.
Oh my gosh. The rounds just keep getting harder and harder.
These debaters are fierce. Listeners, you too, mark down a point for whoever you think came out on top of this handshake sneak attack. All right, Layla, have you awarded a point?
I have.
Okay, it's time for our final fearsome round.
The final 6.
Our debaters have one last chance to convince Layla that their side is the best time of all time. Peter, let's hear your 6-word tribute to the Jurassic.
There is nothing cooler than dinosaurs.
All right, Lee, in 6 words, why is the Ice Age the coolest?
You literally cannot get any cooler.
And there you have it. Layla, it's time to award your final point. Listeners, you should mark down your point for the final 6 too. Have you decided, Layla?
I think I have.
Then it's time to determine the winner of this epic debate battle. Layla, who is taking home the title of Smash Boom Best?
While it was a very difficult debate and there were some good points, I had to go with the Ice Age.
This is literally the worst day of my life.
Layla, what settled it for you? Please talk us through some of your thinking.
Well, I feel like there's just so many great ice puns, for one. I also like how it's still relevant, and I like glaciers. And even though I really do like The Land Before Time, I had to go with the Ice Age, you know? It's just, I felt it in my heart. Also, he did use nothing cooler than dinosaurs. And I just, yeah.
What was wrong with that?
I mean, it
said cooler?
Yeah, it says cooler.
Yeah, I was trying to put down all of the Ice Age.
Yeah, were you?
Boy, if I had known this whole pun thing, this would have gone a very different direction.
It wasn't just the puns, okay? But I
Sounds
appreciate
like it had a lot to do with the puns.
I also rapped Peter.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much.
Okay. Kick a man when he's down.
What was your favorite thing about Peter's argument?
About Peter's argument? Let me look at my notes.
Oh, yeah. Don't try too hard. How about a 30-foot-long dolphin tail?
I was
Come
just
on.
thinking about that. I also really like dinosaur names. Dinosaur names are always really cool.
No, but honestly, you made incredible. I think you did better research than me. I had to resort to some low blows in order to score cheap points, and I think you're amazing. I truly respect your intellect.
Well, thank you. I was very impressed. You won fair and square. When you were rapping, I knew it was over.
That was the beginning.
That's all for today's debate. Smash Boom Best is brought to you by Brains On and American Public Media.
It's produced by Mark Sanchez, Sandin Totten, Molly Bloom, Elissa Dudley, and Rosie DuPont.
We had engineering help from Corey Schreppel and Sam Baer.
And we had production help from Mainika Wilhelm, Christina Lopez, and Lauren D.
Brenna Everson is the voice of our hold music, and our announcer is Marley Feuerwerker Otto. We want to give a special thanks to Melanie Renee, Justin Koo, Austin Cross, Taylor Kaufman, and Ryan Kober. Peter, is there anyone you want to thank today?
I would like to thank you, Molly Bloom, my friend I have known since I was 11 years old.
Oh, Peter. And what about you, Lee? Anyone you want to thank?
I want to thank Peter McNerney and Ryan Kober and the Story Pirates and Sam Baer.
Layla, do you want to give a special shout out to anybody?
Shout out to my cats. You're really great, and I'm supposed to be cleaning your cat boxes right now. And shout out to my mom who drove me here and is also really great.
Well, before we sign off, let's hear some more from Sailor, the listener with the idea for a metal versus glass debate. Here's who she thinks would win.
I think metal would win because metal can only get indents and glass can break.
Check back next week for another debate battle.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
I have one more couplet I didn't get to if anybody wants to hear it.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, here we go. This age is so cold, good luck trying to melt it. Dinosaurs fart, I know, 'cause I smelt it. Take off your sweater, 'cause it's cool to be cold. A dino is silver and the ice age is gold. One more point before this rap is done. I hope you like ice ages, 'cause you're living in one.
Oh, man.